Hello everyone, and welcome to How-FixIT. In this complete Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con teardown and repair guide, you'll see every screw removed, every ribbon cable released, and every common issue, joystick drift, dead battery, rumble failure, sticky or broken buttons, repaired step by step. During the disassembly process, I'll explain how to diagnose each problem, how to fix it, or how to replace the faulty component. And don't worry, all the reassembly steps are included in this guide. Okay, let's get started. To fully disassemble the Joy-Con 2, you'll need two screwdrivers, a Tri-Wing and a Phillips 1 screwdriver. Plastic pry tools and a pair of tweezers will also be very helpful during this repair. You'll find links to all the necessary tools and replacement parts, as well as time codes in the video description, so you can jump straight to the fix you need. Before you open a Joy-Con 2, I highly recommend using a magnetic mat. Each controller contains many tiny screws of slightly different lengths, and keeping them organized is essential for a smooth reassembly. A magnetic mat allows you to place each screw in its own designated area, preventing lost parts and mix-ups. When it's time to reassemble the Joy-Con, you'll have a clear overview, ensuring that every screw is accounted for. It also keeps the screws securely in place as they stay attached to the mat. It's a simple tool, but it makes a big difference. In this video, I'm taking apart the left Joy-Con. Every screw location, ribbon cable latch, and disassembly step you see here is identical on the right controller, so you can follow along no matter which side needs the fix. On the back edge of the Joy-Con, you'll see two screws. Remove them using a Tri-Wing screwdriver. Remove the Joy-Con side panel to reveal two additional hidden screws. Once exposed, remove these screws as well. Using a plastic spatula, carefully pry off the back cover. Disconnect the battery and vibration module cables from the Joy-Con mainboard. Use tweezers to gently lift the connectors without damaging the flexible cables. Remove the release button from the housing. Use a plastic spudger to carefully pry out the ZL button. Remove the screws securing the middle frame. Gently lift the middle frame and remove the L button. Flip up the connector latch and disconnect the flex cable. You can now remove the middle frame from the controller. The middle frame houses the batteries and the flex cable with the ZL button mechanism. To remove this flex cable, first unscrew the screw securing it to the frame. Once the screw is removed, you can carefully lift and detach the cable from the middle frame. If you're experiencing issues with the ZL or ZDAR button, such as unresponsiveness or not working, you'll need to replace this flex cable. I've included a link to the replacement cable for the ZDL or ZDAR button in the video description below. The battery is glued to the middle frame with double-sided tape. To remove it, apply a small amount of isopropyl alcohol underneath the battery, wait a few moments for the adhesive to weaken, and then gently lift the battery out. Flip up the connector latch, then carefully remove the ribbon cables. Be gentle to avoid damaging the connectors or tearing the cables. Remove the 7 screws securing the main board and side rail to the front panel. Once the screws are removed, you can lift out both the side rail and the Joy-Con main board. The side rail includes the SL and SR buttons, the mouse sensor, the sync button, the connection port, and the piston of the release button. We'll fully disassemble the side rail later, but for now, let's return our focus to the main board. If you have a faulty L or R button, you'll need a soldering iron and some experience using it to replace the button mechanism. The same applies to all other control buttons, as they are soldered directly to the Joy-Con mainboard. If you're not comfortable with soldering or lack the necessary tools, it's often easier and safer to replace the Joy-Con mainboard. Remove the 2 screws securing the analog stick to the Joy-Con front panel. Once the screws are out, you can lift and remove the stick module. If you're experiencing joystick drift, or if the stick is worn out and no longer functioning properly, replacing the stick module will resolve the issue. I've included a link to a replacement joystick for the Joy-Con in the video description below. Remove the silicone pads from the front panel. If you've spilled a sweet liquid on the Joy-Con and the buttons are sticking, you'll need to clean or replace the silicone pads. For cleaning, use isopropyl alcohol, as it effectively dissolves and removes sticky residue, helping to restore the buttons to normal working condition. Nothing is left on the Joy-Con front panel, so now we return to the side rail. Unscrew the 4 screws and remove the plastic panel from the side rail. Next, remove the spring and piston and set them aside. You can now remove and replace the connection port. This port connects the Joy-Con to the console. If your Joy-Con functions wirelessly but doesn't work when physically connected, no charging icon, no pairing animation, it's likely that the contacts inside the rail are bent, worn, or damaged. In such cases, replacing the connection port should resolve the issue. If the problem remains after replacement, the issue may lie in the Joy-Con connector on the console itself. For instructions on replacing that connector, check my Nintendo Switch 2 repair guide. A link to that video is provided in the description below. This panel contains the SL and SR buttons, the mouse sensor, and the sync button. If the SL or SR buttons are not working properly, or you're experiencing issues with the mouse sensor and unresponsive sync button, you may need to replace this entire module. However, before doing so, try reconnecting the ribbon cable to the Joy-Con mainboard. Sometimes the issue is simply due to poor contact. If reconnecting doesn't resolve your problem, then replacing the module is the next step. Remove the last components from the side rail and we're almost done with the disassembly. Make sure to keep all small parts organized for an easier reassembly process. If your Joy-Con rumble motor is not working or shuts off randomly, you can replace it by simply prying it up from underneath, as it's glued to the Joy-Con back cover. So, at this stage, we've completely disassembled the Joy-Con, and now you know how to identify the root cause of every common issue, as well as how to safely remove and replace any faulty parts. Links to all the necessary spare parts are provided in the video description below. Next, I'll show you how to put everything back together. Let's start reassembling the side rail. The side rail is fully assembled. Let's move on to reassembling the Joy-Con itself. Install the buttons and silicone pads onto the Joy-Con front panel, making sure each one is correctly positioned. Install the analog stick module and secure it with its 2 screws. Place the side rail and main board onto the Joy-Con front panel. Secure the main board and side rail with screws. Carefully reconnect all ribbon cables. Ensure each latch is fully closed for a secure connection. Install the ZDAL or ZDAR button cable onto the middle frame and secure it with a screw. Connect the ribbon cable from the middle frame to the main board, then reinstall the middle frame into the Joy-Con housing. Reinstall the L or R button, depending on the Joy-Con side, and tighten its screws. Reconnect the battery and rumble motor cables to the Joy-Con main board. Finally, close the Joy-Con housing and tighten the last 4 screws on the outer shell. With that, your Joy-Con is fully reassembled and ready to be tested. On the Switch 2, go to Settings, then navigate to the Controllers and Accessories section. To test the analog stick, select Calibrate Control Sticks. The analog stick is fully functional and the drift issue has been resolved. Let's test the buttons. Go to the Test Input Devices section, then select Test Controller Buttons. The test has been successfully completed. The Joy-Con and all buttons are working properly. If you found this guide helpful, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more tech tips and guides. Visit our website for more tech insights and do-it-yourself guides. Remember, every tech challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. I really appreciate you watching my video guide. Feel free to ask any questions about Nintendo Switch 2 maintenance in the comments. Thanks for watching HowFixIT, and see you in the next video.